I just want to concentrate on a few things that the governor mentioned on agriculture. Particularly, I want to mention the issue of retention of foreign currency by farmers. The governor mentioned various sectors such as gold, such as manufacturing. The average basically was 80%, but for the farmer, particularly the agricultural farmer, the policy states that the farmer only receives 30% or retention of out of his tobacco. Now, if you consider that the tobacco farmer is the primary producer of the product that the merchants sell, that the exporters export, and the merchants who are mainly middle people have been given 80%, as well as the exporters, 80% retention. Yet the farmer has been given only 30%. This is not fair, this is not right. But there's also another element that the governor mentioned. He says of the 30%, that money, if put in the nostro account, must be spent within 1 month. After 1 month, the money reverts back to RTGS account. That's ridiculous. How does the governor, the policy is not encouraging savings, is not envisioning a farmer who plans to use his money as the season goes. He says, spend it there and then. The other thing is that the same promise was made last year. The farmers were told to open accounts where their tobacco money would be put in as US dollars. Those accounts are now not US dollar accounts anymore. Their money has been put to devalued as of today.
Sorry, at what stage were the farmers asked to open accounts, US dollar accounts last year? Was it after the monetary policy statement or it was before?
Way before, when the opening season, the selling season, tobacco selling season started last year in March, farmers were advised to open foreign currency denominated accounts, which they did. And all their monies from tobacco have been denominated as US dollars. Now, this policy that was announced the day before yesterday says that money is no longer US dollars. That money is what is it called? RTGS dollars. And that money now is valued at almost 20 cents a dollar. Now, can you imagine that the farmer was keeping his money for more business, for investment, and it has been devalued at the moment by almost between 400 and 500%. It's ridiculous.
How is the monetary policy statement likely to affect the agricultural sector in this coming season?
What is likely to happen is that most farmers will not be able to go back onto the land. So the policy is actually like killing the goose that lays the eggs. I mean, most farmers will not be able to produce tobacco.
But the budget, has it not made an allocation for farmers?
The budget has not made allocation for farmers. In fact, the budget that was last announced by the minister did not mention any meaningful support to farmers. There was some stage command agriculture that has collapsed. There is not any meaningful support from even from banks. Most farmers are growing with the help of contract farmers. They're contracted by companies, and the buying price, even the government, is not supportive in terms of the farmers getting a fair price. That's also another element. The other thing is that the policy demands that the farmers on their nostro accounts don't receive interest. In fact, the farmers are charged for keeping their money in the bank. Something like $24 per annum. That money is in the banks. It is, I suppose, being used as in banking, but there is no interest on those accounts.
That is not just to farmers, I guess. Everyone is not getting an interest in the bank.
Exactly.
Now, when we look at the monetary policy statement as announced, and as you've alluded, that the money that the farmers had in their accounts has been devalued, and this is the money they were probably setting up for the next season.
Yes.
What is likely to happen to our farming, to the season? Now that we're approaching the season, what should government do, or what should farmers do in order for us to see productivity on the land? Because, like you said, agriculture is indeed our primary sector in terms of productivity. So now that there is this challenge, what should be done? What is the solution?
There are few suggestions solid suggestions that the farmers are demanding, and that look reasonable. One, the retention percentage must be increased. It must be increased to what has been happening to other sectors, to 80% or more. The other thing is that the farmer must be allowed to keep his money as long as he can in foreign currency. If he has been given that retention, he should be allowed to keep that money as long as he can, so that he can get time to source for inputs. He cannot run around and source for inputs within 1 month and to use that money. The other thing is that there must be fair prices.
How fair is fair?
Fair is that good tobacco and all tobacco must be bought at reasonable prices. We've had in the past where farmers have been paid 10 cents per kg. That's ridiculous. Now, you want to see, where did that tobacco just go to be rubbish? Where was it thrown at? It was exported. I mean, there's no pit where you can find it now. So the government must protect even the prices in order for the farmer to be able to go back onto the land. If the present situation remains, if the status quo remains as it is, most farmers will not be able to go back to farming in the next season.
And that is not good for our economy, is it?
That's not good for the economy. That's killing our biggest source of foreign currency. There's been very little support by government to agriculture sector, apart from what was called the command agriculture, which in fact should have never been done, because command agriculture everywhere in the world failed, particularly in the western, in the eastern countries. It failed, but it has also collapsed in Zimbabwe. The support that agriculture needs should come from the banks, but all land in Zimbabwe, all agricultural land in Zimbabwe is no title. People are leasing government land. People are tenants on government land. And getting loans on those is very, very difficult, it's not impossible. Support to irrigation schemes. For example, this year is a drought year, and most areas don't have irrigation schemes. To set up irrigation schemes needs a lot of infrastructure development. Yes, we imported wheat at a cost which is higher than the price that we give to the farmer who is producing wheat in Zimbabwe. So we are actually discouraging farmers. If we don't have wheat, then we don't have enough wheat bran. So then we don't have soybeans. So we don't have soybean mills. So we cannot produce stock feeds, enough stock feeds. So it's a situation where we will end up failing in many ways. I think that the solution is both political and economic, and agriculture. I think the government of Zimbabwe just learned to listen